just make sure it's kosher. Lean on me like Bill Withers until you smell the roses.
What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscriber died trying. You see the thumbnail. Can you stay in the rain? Be there through the tough times. So, in the last month or two, it's been a lot happening in my life personally. Talked about it before. My lady's son passed away. I had a custody hearing 2 days ago. A friend of mine, a coworker, passed away. And one of my best friend's sister, I haven't even got a chance to get up with her because she was like, like stage 4 and getting worse. So I don't even know if she passed away. So I gotta practice what I preach on this video, right? Be there for people through tough times, because a lot of times people get left when times are rough. Everybody's there when it's cool, but when it's hard, they're not there. And that's a problem. And sometimes people want to celebrate that they're back, but my homeboy, a good friend of mine, he was like, he's still working out being there for people through tough times. And what I was telling him was, like, the way you be there is just by being there. Try to get them out of their funk or depression. Don't let them sit and wallow for too long, because, it might worsen the situation. And shout out to the Black Manosphere, but I don't know if y'all noticed, like, I've gotten away from a lot of the relationship content all the time, for a very long time, because real life stuff happens. And though that gets the most views, that's not what people need. Like right now, a couple years ago, I did my thing. This is an urn with my cousin's ashes. Say that, like I said, a few months back, I came home from work, and I had my son living with me, and I had custody of him, and his mother picked him up and took him. So that's why I was in court hearings or whatever. And I've learned for years and years and years that when adversity happens and when tragedy happens, a lot of the things we talk about are like minuscule complaints. And the reason I'm making this video on top of what I'm saying is because if you leave a person alone and they're going through a tough time, they'll never be the same. And sometimes people lose their trust in humanity. They lose their trust in God. They lose their faith. They lose hope. And you have to be there through people through tough times. Now, something that I gotta touch on that's above this. Sometimes people, it might be wearing on you, and some people find ways to blow off steam. And I hate to say this, but it happens, and I would say not to do this. Sometimes somebody's going through a tough time and you're there for them, and you're so accustomed to doing you or doing things your way, you might go blow off steam in a way that harms them. So if you're with somebody and they go through something and you're there for them, and it's like, then you might go out into the streets because you need a break, which basically hurts them more, because, what's done in the dark will come to the light. So when you're there for somebody, don't do anything to worsen the situation out of your own selfishness. Or some people bail on people because they just don't want the responsibility, which is, in my opinion, is some sucker stuff. Because the same people that bail on people when they go through tough times are the same type of people who want people to be there for them when they're going through a tough time. So be there through tough times. You don't leave people hanging, man. Sometimes you might not be able to be there consistently. You might have to come and go. Sad story, my best friend got killed on New Year's Eve, or really died on New Year's Day. And a few weeks later, my grandmother, who was my other best friend, she passed away. And I would keep in touch with his family, his parents for years, but I stopped because I wasn't bringing him any joy per se. Every conversation, it just made him sadder and sadder and sadder. So luckily, I would have conversations with him and see him in my dreams periodically, every blue moon. And the last time I had a conversation with him, what he told me, I told his parents, and that in some ways put them at ease at that point. I told them everything that happened verbatim. And in some ways that eased me because I felt like I was just bringing sadness to them, trying to be there for them. But he brought peace to me and the situation because it was a murky situation the way he passed. But ultimately, I gotta say, like, you know, when you go through things, you need people. Like, I'm a person that I'm like a loner, so like I tell people I don't need it per se, but it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So if ever you go through something, I hope people are there for you, and I hope if somebody goes through something, I hope you're there for them because people need that. So that's my real talk of the day. Like, share, subscribe, or die trying. Catch you on the next one. Peace.